Welcome to Her Hoop Stats, your all-in-one place for information about women's basketball on every level, from itty-bitty to the pros. I am Helen Williams, and I am here today with one of my favorites, who I will see tomorrow in Phoenix, Cindy Brunson. Cindy, how you be?
I'm good. Hello, everybody. Yes, the wait is finally over. The women's Final Four is here, and downtown Phoenix is ready. I want to remind everybody, we are in the Phoenix Scottsdale area, the 5th largest city in the nation. As you plan to attend all of your free events all weekend long, plan accordingly. Of course, everything free outside of the games themselves. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. But yeah, it's a lot, but it's really well put together and thought out. And Phoenix is ready. I'm so excited.
Public service announcement, people. PSA. Plan accordingly. Plan accordingly.
Yes.
So we're taping this on a Wednesday. It'll be airing probably while I'm in the air and sleep on the plane. So I just gotta tell everybody it's been a day today.
Okay, what happened? Break it down.
First of all, you, myself, and B-Mac. B-Mac, come on camera for a second.
Producer extraordinaire.
We all got fresh, crispy haircuts today.
Yes.
To make sure that we look good while we're gone.
Thank you.
So
if anybody needs a hookup, if anybody needs a hookup during the Final Four, Society Salon, Black-owned and operated salon in Old Town Scottsdale. They do everything, braids, all of the deals. It is amazing. I got my fresh cut today, so I am ready.
Yeah, you got your little part. I got my little part and ready to go.
Yes.
All right, B-Mac, I just thought everybody had to see you.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, man. So today I start off, I'm running my errands. I get my hair cut. I had my last meal for the day because I normally fast on Fridays, but I'm not trying to give up any good food this weekend. So I'm fasting today until tomorrow because I'm going to be asleep anyway. I get home. I'm thinking I can get out of my car. I can, start finishing my packing and everything. And I hear this on my wheel. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that?
No.
It's my tire. So I'm thinking, it could be fine, but then it just really starts hissing, and I'm like, that's not good. So the tire place is like maybe a mile from my house, and so I start driving, and I'm like, let me just get there. It'll be, and halfway there, I just heard some noise that just was not good. So I had to pull over. It is totally flat. I'm like, I cannot drive on the rim. I don't want to mess with it. So I have to call AAA. Let me just say, people, when you have a renewal for AAA, don't be cheap, because it's worth it. It pays for itself over and over again. So luckily I was somewhere and the guy was only like 15 minutes away, and I go, he tows me to the place. $300 for a tire.
Oh my gosh.
$100 for a tire. Now, I could have gone to Walmart or some other place. I'm like, no, I need good tires for my car.
Yeah.
$300. So that came out of the Final Four account. Does not make me happy. So I'm going to be looking for some free stuff from people this week. But anyway, $300 for a tire. So finally get that, and then finally get home, and none of my things that I had to do at home are done. Kudos to you for changing the time that we could do our podcast, because we were supposed to do it 4 hours ago.
Listen, nobody is going to keep me from hanging out with Helen. But period, full stop. An expensive tire, nothing. Like, I'm here for you, 10 toes down. I appreciate you sharing your story, because this is what we deal with on the day-to-day, on the regular. At certain points in life, you are going to be asked to adult. And then you've got to recognize and appreciate how, when things go the way they're supposed to, yes, you had a problem, but you were prepared to have a problem, and it got fixed. And now you can concentrate. Yep. Concentrate on the women's Final Four now. And your budget took a hit, but there are a lot of free events associated with this women's Final Four. I have cut all the advertisements for radio and TV, and I am telling you, you're in great shape.
Okay. All right. So we're good. So I did the because I'm fasting, I'm hungrier than normal. So I
Right.
was a little bit more stressed. So I had to woosah and do a little bit longer meditation today
Yeah.
to get myself good to go. So yeah, I can't wait to get on the plane and get there tomorrow. Thank goodness all of the TSA people are back, so I don't have to be at
Yes.
Atlanta Airport 5 hours before my flight. Thank you, TSA people, for coming
Mhm.
back and standing your ground, but for coming back.
Yeah, and to those who held on, right? Because so many people bounced. Because I had some traveling to do last week, and I was very grateful folks were there and doing their job and just being as patient as could be, way more patient than I think I would be in the same situation if my checks just stopped coming.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, yeah, so glad that everything is sorted right in the nick of time for the first Final Four in the Pacific time zone since 1999. Take that,
Oh
San
my
Jose.
goodness.
We back, baby. We back.
Well, let's finally get to the Final Four after my saga.
Yes.
Um, I'm so excited for the Final Four. What are you looking forward to the most? I mean, obviously, we're going to have tremendous basketball. A lot of
Mhm.
eyes are going to be on it. I'm sure the numbers when they add them up are going to be phenomenal for the
Mhm.
whole Final Four. But what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing matchups I haven't seen yet this season. That's
Okay.
exciting, right? You know, I'm actually excited to see how UCLA responds to Texas the second time around. That loss was very early in the season. Kiki Rice was a little more than a month removed from her labrum surgery, so maybe not quite 100%. Charlize Ledger Walker playing in one of her first games with UCLA, because remember, she tore the ACL 2 springs ago
Right.
and spent an entire year rehabbing and then joined UCLA's team in playing games. So everything was still relatively new for her. So when I look back on that first matchup and I look at all of those first half turnovers, I know why they happened. So I'm very curious to see what kind of Bruin team shows up on Friday night to face this vaunted Texas defense. And with that being said, the Longhorns are the only team in the Final Four that haven't missed a beat, right? There's been no hiccup, there's been no gap, there's been no misstep to this point. They have just blown people out of the doors from the jump, where you could argue that UConn had to find its way a little bit against Notre Dame. UCLA looked a little shaky against Duke. South Carolina had to find its way as well to advance. But Texas has been the one consistently just everybody's got the blinders on, they're locked in, they're ready to go. So I'm very curious to see if that Longhorns team shows up. I also like the way the thing is set up. I like that South Carolina and UConn go first on Friday night. I think that's very sexy.
Yep.
And my cap is UCLA and Texas. I am beyond excited.
Madison Booker, Madison Booker, Madison Booker, Madison Booker. I mean, she could get drafted right now. She could get drafted right now.
Dugalich, Dugalich, Dugalich. The
Yes,
person
yes.
who needed to play better in the tournament to be ready for this occasion answered the bell. Answered the bell against Duke, and it is Angela Dugalich that is going to be huge because she will get the defensive assignment, most likely, against Booker. You know that Harmon is going to try to make hay against Rice, but it's going to be a two-headed monster between Charlie Sledger Walker and Kiki Rice. And then it's the bigs, right? I expect to see a lot of twin tower bets action to negate Brea Cunningham and her effectiveness. Because if you've got Lauren Betts on one block and her baby sis on the other, that could be a lot for Texas, a look that Texas has not seen yet this season.
Do you think Texas will adjust and have Oldacre in there as well for their
Oh,
own
for
twin
sure.
towers?
For sure. But can
Yeah.
Oldacre stay out of foul trouble? Can foul
Yeah,
trouble
that's
prone
big.
Brea Cunningham stay out of foul trouble? And then you look to, your Lees, what is she going to do on the wing? Can Jaquez contain that? The matchups are very, very sexy across the board.
Yeah, do you think UCLA, yeah, is this is a revenge game for them or no?
Has to be. It has to be. Get your lick back, right? I don't see it being any other thing. They had one loss the entire season. They have a school record winning streak on the line, and the only thing standing between them and the championship game on Sunday is the Longhorns. I don't think there's no bulletin board material needed. Corey Close doesn't have to do win one for the Gipper. This stuff is baked in the cake now. It's how bad does UCLA want to prove it belongs in the championship game?
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, not that if they get to the championship game, it's not going to be difficult, but part of me feels like getting to the Final Four was almost the most difficult part
Oh,
because
100%.
they wouldn't
UCLA,
be
no
able to.
doubt.
Yeah,
If you look at the teams in their part of the bracket to get to Phoenix, they had the toughest road to hoe, and it wasn't even close.
yeah. So when you look at teams like Connecticut,
Mhm.
um, that are in the Final Four, somebody said something interesting today that I thought about. What do you think these coaches do to keep these teams from getting bored with winning and being complacent? Um, I just think it's interesting, especially, I mean, obviously Gino with his gazillion championships, and then you've got Don Staley, who's just sustained excellence.
Yep.
UCLA in terms of this year, just killing
Right.
everybody in the Big Ten. Like, what do you think they do or say to make sure that their players are locked in for every game?
Well, I think for 4 decades now, this has been the expectation for UConn. The Huskies are in a Final Four for the ninth time in the last 10 years. That's not an accident. The best players in the country want to play for arguably the best team we have ever seen in women's basketball year in, year out consistently, and for the head coach that has won 12 championships. Because when you sign up to play, right, when AZ Fudd says, I want to play, or Paige Beckers, or whoever it is, they're not only measuring themselves against the rest of Division One basketball, they are measuring themselves against Brianna Stewart, Maya Moore, Diana
We're in four
Taurasi,
years. Yep.
Bird, Tina Charles. The list goes on and on and on. So you don't want to just win. You want to win in the same fashion that you grew up watching. So the expectation level is through the roof and the want to has to be there. So I don't think Gino has to do any extra motivating. There's nothing special because that is what the mission is day one all the time. 24/7, 365. You drive into stores, you see all the championship numbers listed as welcome to stores, Connecticut on the big sign there. That is just the deal. Now, South Carolina also has that same expectation in a Final Four for the sixth straight season, and that is Dawn Staley. Once she got to Columbia, she goes, it can't just be UConn. We can do this, and I can do it here. So now, after she got the first chip, that's become the expectation. You go to South Carolina to continue the tradition of Asia Wilson, of Aaliyah Boston. The list goes on and on, right? So those two coaches operate in this extra stratosphere, which is so cool to see. Vic Schaefer wants to get back. He's had one, he wants another, and he wanted to do it at his dream school, the only school he wanted to coach at before he retired, Texas. So the fact that he is there is no surprise. The wild card in all of this is Corey Close. We know for a decade plus that this has been the objective. Get UCLA back on the map and get that team to be championship caliber for the first time since the mid 80s, right? When it was still AIAW and Andy Myers Drysdale was winning championships. So that has been the goal. And in the last 2 years alone, once NIL really opened up, Corey Close has been able to meet the moment with the team with a whole new roster that, for Corey's benefit, is full of been there, done that. A half dozen seniors on the team, I think is
All draft picks.
all WNBA draft picks are going to be a luxury that only the Bruins roster has. Everybody else has WNBA players. Everybody else has a great team. I would argue UConn's team this year is markedly better than last year because of Blanca Quinones. But what Blanca doesn't bring to the table is championship experience in the United States in this format. And UCLA has that, particularly at the guard position. And I think that is going to be valuable.
Yeah, I think if it ends up UCLA versus UConn,
Mhm.
the matchup is Quinones and Dugalich
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're both basically starters who come off the bench.
Hmm.
So it will be interesting to see if we get to that point how those two play each other. What did you think about Corey Close's comments about being tired? And with all of the way that the athletics is right now, looking for some
Hmm.
guardrails. Like I personally, I felt her. I was like,
Yeah. Oh, of
that's why
course.
I am not coaching today because I just could not deal. I'm being self aware here. Could not deal with
Mhm.
the NIL. Could not deal with not being able to coach my kids old school, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
Um, could not deal with having to talk with a 15-year-old on social media. And kudos to people like
Although
Dawn.
I would pay money to see that conversation.
Um, kudos to people like Dawn, who she's out here doing TikToks and everything. Like that's a
Oh,
coach that
yeah.
has adapted, right? She's old school, but she's adapted. So
Listen, she's
just
Louis
curious.
Vuitton Dawn. She knows the deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I love to be in that spot where you just go home and you see boxes full of Louis Vuitton and Gucci and like,
Mhm.
take what you want, send the rest back.
Yep. But to
But
your
yeah, what
point,
do you think?
I think we're hearing from Corey what we've heard from Gino just a couple days ago and in the past as well. Why can't the women's tournament be run like the men? Period. You know, Arizona men, number one seed, left Tucson today. The women already had to travel, get here, and have started doing media. So it's
Yeah,
the extra rest that is so critical and that you play to be a one seed so you can have it. And I mean, UCLA is in a better position than the teams that played after because they got the extra day. Both UConn and UCLA, as the top two one seeds, if you will, played the day before. So they even got an extra few hours in this. But all of that rest and recovery is so precious. And so I
yeah.
feel what Corey is saying. Why are we playing the game in the afternoon? Why are we playing the game in the afternoon? There is no big time ABC primetime show anymore, right? Because The Bachelor imploded itself. So I looked at my no, hand to God, I looked at my cable guide and it said America's Funniest Home Videos. So there's no primetime anchor show that could be interrupted because of a women's basketball championship to decide the title being played on a Sunday night. I think that's huge. The men play on Monday night. And don't tell me that prime time on a Sunday night isn't valuable because then you have to explain to me why do we play Sunday night football? It wants its own window and appointment television. And we could have had that this year because The Bachelor blew up. There's nothing on ABC Sunday night. And yet we're playing that game in the afternoon. So that's less rest, right? From doubleheader Friday night into
Right.
Sunday afternoon.
Especially the second game. Like
Yes. And
play the second.
before ESPN was putting the games on ABC, before we ran into network programming problems, it was always Sunday night baseball on ESPN. They always played them in the afternoon so they wouldn't run into that Sunday night window that, folks on the social love to tell me isn't valuable or important. And I'm like, if it's not important, then why is it designated for Sunday night football and in the past on ESPN, Sunday night baseball? It creates a very attractive television window. And it would help the women rest and recover, which is what we all want for them. We don't want them playing on short rest because we want the best basketball possible. And that comes from rested bodies.
Yeah, kudos to ESPN putting the NWSL on Sunday nights now.
Yep.
That's gonna be good. So yeah,
Yes,
I
100%.
just I
People will
felt her
watch.
when she was saying that. I really felt that. And people are like,
Yes.
well, if you don't like the job, don't do it. It's not even about that.
No,
It's
no,
about
it's not.
having an
It's about
environment that's conducive to success to an environment that is conducive to sustain success.
yes, and for people who are like, "Oh, you just like to complain." No, I'm fighting for equity. That's all I want here. I want what I see the men having. I just want it stacked as advantageously as it is for the men, for the women. These student athletes are working just as hard in their women's basketball space as the men are in theirs. So why do the tournaments look so different?
And it has been proven that the eyes will be there. People
Oh,
want to watch.
1000%. Tell them where to go, give it a linear spot, and watch the
That's
numbers.
key. Linear spot. That's key.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you about another coach and what you think about Chrissy Curry going from Alabama to the
Mhm.
University of South Florida, who people they think it's an interesting move. I will just say that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's gotta be a move for her personally that works, right? Because you just don't leave the SEC and arguably the best conference in the country, and a school that plays big time football year in and year out. So you know your NIL package is the maximum it can be because of the SEC TV checks that go around that conference. So to leave that, I thought was interesting. But I don't begrudge anybody anymore because I don't know what's going on in her life or what will work for her. This might be a move that gets her closer to family or makes just work life balance easier. And I'm all for that because these coaches are now not just basketball coaches, they are general managers and roster managers. And if that works for her at USF better than it did at Alabama, more power to her.
I just thought it was interesting because the scuttlebutt was that Alabama didn't really finance their women's basketball team compared to the rest of the SEC.
Well, if that's the case, then shame on the Crimson Tide, and I'm glad Curry made them see the writing on the wall, because if you don't come correct, the players will not be there. That will dry up in a heartbeat. We Tennessee has no players on its roster.
That was my
Everybody's
next
in
that was a segue to my next question. So what is Tennessee
everybody
going to
is in
do?
the portal. Like,
Everybody's in the
everybody.
portal, and they lost the coach to LSU. So you can
Yes.
expect probably one or two of those players to end up at LSU or maybe
Mhm.
even Rutgers.
Yes, 100%. Penn State has a new head coach now, like Mazzanti. So everybody is making moves to be in the best position to be able to write a check or two or three. Iowa State, Audie
Oh,
Cooks is the only one
six
standing.
players, right? Six players in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
not counting Audi, but we don't know
mm-mm,
what she's going to do.
yeah.
And the
I
portal
mean,
opens up, I think, on the 6th. So that'll be an
yes.
interesting day for a podcast.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't open up until the champion is crowned the very next day. But this just speaks to how untenable all of this is. We cannot
Yeah.
sustain this. It ruins the recruit and development piece. We don't get to see, you know, Shakira start at our favorite university and grow through her sophomore, junior, and senior year. We're scrambling to try to find where she's at throughout her college career. I think of somebody who really fell in love with Jada Williams when she was at Arizona, then followed her to Iowa State. Okay, well, now what? Because she's back in the portal again. I think it's asking a lot of fans to just be behind players, which is so much easier to do in the WNBA because there's fewer of them, right? But across the college landscape, more than 300 Division One schools, kid could go anywhere. It's just a lot to ask of fan support and donor dollars in particular. It's just not tenable.
And the interesting part is, as broadcasters, you and I, we don't get as much of an opportunity to be able to analyze the development of a player from year to
No.
year because they are moving from school to school, from system to system,
Mhm.
and they're not fine tuning particular skills. I think of Olivia Miles making the great decision. Nope, let me just go somewhere where I know what I need to get better at
Mhm.
to be successful in WNBA. Let me go someplace where I have that type of system. But not every player is as self aware as Olivia Miles was in terms of their own critique of their skill set.
Yeah, I think as a senior or a grad, that's great. I love that option for them. But for a freshman to not give a coach a chance to make the commitment and not see what the growth could be, um, what if Kimura did that for Virginia? We wouldn't have seen this wonderful Virginiarella story if she was chasing NIL dollars, if she didn't sign up with the Cavaliers and say, "I believe in the vision." We're gonna see more and more stories like that evaporate, and that is heartbreaking to me.
That's where I'm going to be real interested to see what Kim Caldwell does at Tennessee,
Mm.
because her system that she had worked really well at Marshall, and
Mhm.
that was before the landscape changed, and now players are obviously more individualistic, and I don't they're not going to want to only play 5 minutes at a time, right? So who are you going to go get that wants to play in that system, or do you change your system? Now she made some adjustments during the second half of the season, but that didn't go very well either. So I'm real interested to see what they do.
Yeah, my heart breaks for the Lady Vols. If folks haven't had a chance to watch that beautiful documentary that Robin Roberts put together on Hulu about Pat
Oh my
Summitt,
god, it was phenomenal,
ooh,
phenomenal.
you have to have Kleenex handy. It is just, oh, it is so beautiful and so well done. But I always think of Pat Summitt in these instances because she always said you had to be a little crazy to be a head coach because you're literally putting your job security into the hands of 18 to 22-year-olds. And now you're putting your career in the hand of one and dones. You literally have to win in one calendar year. And that is a lot to put on anybody that doesn't have a
Less than a calendar year, really,
yeah,
when you think about it. Less than
it's
a calendar year.
find the players, to build the chemistry, to get the buy-in, to make sure the culture is set, because women's basketball is different. I think you can roll out a basketball for a men's team, and they don't have to like each other, they don't have to know each other beyond
I
that
know.
94 feet, seriously.
They're
But
still gonna pass if somebody's open.
exactly, but on a woman's team, that matters. The connectivity of the locker room is impactful, and I just don't think you win without it, and that is hard to build in a short amount of
Poor Andrea Carter's just pulling her hair out.
time. And she's got all that beautiful hair to pull out, bless her heart.
you know, she's just having a time with it.
Well,
Well, that's
all Lady Vol fans are. Listen, I want
yeah. I
Tennessee
well,
to
yeah.
be
But she's visible, so
oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I want Tennessee to be good because that's how my
Good for women's
basketball
basketball.
fandom developed, right?
Yeah.
I see Cheryl Swoops winning at Texas Tech, I get interested, and then after that, I see, Pat Summitt getting it done, bringing in the Meeks, bringing in Candace Parker, and it's like, "Oh, okay, this is how it's supposed to be." I want that rivalry renewed between Tennessee and UConn. I loved those matchups. I mean, for
Yeah.
each of those teams to have that game on the schedule where everybody knows what's at stake and what's on the line, and that the entire women's basketball community across the nation and globally is going to tune in to watch it, that's heavy. And you don't want to let that go. So I need Tennessee to get its act together so we can have that because there is nothing like it on the landscape.
As my sister would say, "Get yourself together."
That part.
And on
Oh,
that note, I'm gonna end on my sister's "Get yourself together." Oh,
that is breaking
what you got,
news.
super producer with the crispy fresh haircut?
Ah,
Because this is going out tomorrow on Thursday, I want to
okay.
make sure we cover this because this just came about. The Naismith Awards is having their banquet right now,
Okay.
and they have their winners announced. Defensive Player of the Year award Any guesses?
Hannah
Come on.
Hidalgo.
I
There
mean,
you
come on.
go.
That's
Congratulations.
a given. That's a
Yes.
given.
Yes.
Coach
Well, she
of the
did lead the
year.
nation in steals for a 3rd straight season, so
Yes.
felt kinda confident.
Coach of the year. Any
Who's
more
the coach
guesses?
of the year? I'd be interested in that.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
Think,
say.
think Nashville. Think Tennessee. Think
Oh,
Nashville.
Oh,
J.
so
Ralph.
hey, Ralph.
You're out. Yes.
Yes.
I was so hoping she would get it. I didn't think they would give it to her, but good for her.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Um, they had this was previously announced before the awards, but Naismith Outstanding Contributor Award went to Tara Vanderveer,
Aw, love that.
and the Player of the Year, drum roll,
Dun,
Sarah
dun, dun.
Strong from the Yukon Huskies.
Yeah, that's not a
Woo!
surprise.
Okay. My
That's
player
not.
of the year
She
was
just
Michaela Blakes because Michaela Blakes led the nation in scoring and was the head of the snake for Shea Ralph at Vanderbilt, got them into the top 5, got them, a home seed and a top 16 in the NCAA tournament. But yeah, Sarah, you can't go wrong, right? If I'm starting a WNBA team tomorrow, Sarah Strong is my first pick.
listen. Watch out for Michaela Blake's next year. She will come
Oh,
back on. She's going to be on a tear.
mhm.
You wait, because I know she didn't end the way that she wanted to, and there's some
Yep,
games that they didn't win that they could have. You
yep,
watch out for her. If you thought you saw something this year, watch out for her next year.
that part. That engine
Absolutely.
is legit.
Yeah.
All right, I apologize for jumping in there, but I
No,
had to
no,
get.
no.
That's
Hey,
I love
BMAC,
that.
stay on, BMAC. We're done.
All
Just
right.
Okay.
any last thoughts about Final Four? I can't wait to see you, Cindy. I can't wait to visit all the vegan places.
Yes.
I'm already BMAC and I were talking about the fact that we started packing like 3 days ago because we're both freaked out about forgetting something. Although I don't have to pack as light as I because now I'm $300 short. I won't be bringing back as much as I had planned on bringing back. We'll bring some stuff back, but
You've
yeah,
got to have
excited to
proof
see
you
you.
were there, Helen. The
No,
materials you
no,
need are proof
I'm
you're
gonna
there.
spend money. It's just
Okay.
it'll be $300 less than what I had planned.
I got you, I
Uh,
got you.
so if I
No,
can find
the
some stuff
weather
that's $3.99, yeah, I'll get
oh,
it.
too funny. The weather, fantastic. The heat wave is over. We are back to our normal daytime highs in the mid-80s. Pack some
Perfect.
sunscreen. Yeah, it is absolutely ideal weather. The city of Phoenix is ready to roll out the welcome mat, and I cannot wait to see you both. It is going to be a treat. No matter who wins, no matter who cuts down the nets on Sunday afternoon, it is going to be an elite Final Four experience. And I don't think it's a terrible thing that, yes, we're seeing the same teams make the Final Four in back to back years, but these are completely different rosters. And
Yeah,
I am so excited to see how it all plays out.
just like Ludacris says, roll out. That is it for
Yes.
today. We hope everybody make sure you watch the games. We need the numbers, but
Mhm.
hope you enjoy watching everything and all the tremendous talent that we're going to see. And yeah, that's it.
Yes.
We'll see you
And
guys.
if you see us downtown, say hey.